All right, I'm going to stop laughing about that.
Hi,
at
Madam
some
Sue.
point.
How are you doing today?
This meeting's being recorded. Hey, welcome to Straight Red Card. We are here to talk about United States versus Honduras in the Nations League semifinal coming up on Thursday. If you're wondering, well, what the holy hell is this whole Nations League thing? And you need a breakdown and a summary, go to Tactical Manager's channel. He did a summary today, and it sums it up really, really good. I mean, listen, it's so convoluted, it's still going to be confusing. You may have to watch it twice, but he does explain how it works and why there are only 4 teams left in this tournament for the Nations League Cup. So that's Honduras, United States, and Mexico and Costa Rica. Is that yeah, it's Costa Rica. So I don't have it in front of me, but check out his page because great summary, and then you can come back here and finish this video and know why. Hey, this is kind of an important tournament, and Greg's putting a lot of time and energy into it. So we're just going to break down our starting 11. I don't know if it's going to be exactly the same, but where we disagree, we'll disagree. But I can tell you, Brett, I wrote mine from what I thought Greg Berhalter would do, not what I would do, what I think Greg's going to do. Did you do the same thing?
I sort of went with a hybrid. Sort of like what I think he will do and what I would like to do. But not necessarily not 100% what I'd like to do.
Well, that's a weird mix. How do you decide what percentage to go with?
Yeah.
I'm going to be 90% Berhalter on this 11.
Jesus, no way. Well, I mean, quite frankly, 90% of the starting 11 can be picked regardless. I mean, there's only like a couple of positions and or formation, I guess, even that. But no, if you're looking at a typical 4-3-3,
yeah,
there's really only a couple of positions that are really in question about what we're going to be doing. And and whether you pick one person at a certain position will determine who's going to play at the opposite position. Using left back and right back as an example.
Yes, that's going to be the biggest question mark, right?
Yep, I think so.
Because, all right, we'll start. We know Zach Steffen's the goalie. Although, yeah, we did eat. You ate some crow.
I definitely want Steffen to start. But let's say if Steffen came up with a pulled hammy for whatever reason, pulled hammy is a bad thing. What if he stubbed his toe while entering the field? I wouldn't object to having Horvath out there now because I mean that was a one fluky game, but that was a hell of a game, and I've got a little more confidence in him now.
I mean, he makes great face saves, so you got to give it to Horvath.
There's that whole skit. What was that? Jesus, what was that? I don't know if you ever saw that video. There's a comedy video of two college teams playing and they're doing PKs and one team goes up and takes the PK and it rips the goalkeeper in the face, and then every single PK after that, no matter how the goalkeeper is away from the goal or hiding in the fetal position, he's always getting pegged in the face.
Oh yeah, I remember that old meme.
I can't even think of his name right now either.
Yeah.
But oh man, that just popped up right in head when you said that.
Yeah, somebody turned into a really long GIF at one point. So yeah,
very inclusive of you to include both GIF and GIF.
I don't need all those. I don't need all those pro GIF people coming after me.
I like peanut butter.
I love peanut butter. So the defenders. This is where it gets interesting. What do you think Berhalter would do? And I really, after I thought about it, and I thought about the fact we didn't even see Anthony Robinson for 10 minutes last game. Maybe he's not all the 100% healthy. I think we're going to see, I really do, Cannon on the right and Dest on the left. I think he's just going to stick to his guns.
Could be, but what, Robinson and Dest both play the full 90?
No, Cannon played 80, and then Yedlin came in for him.
That's right, okay.
But Dest played the 90. So 90 at left back. That tells me either Anthony Robinson's still not 100%, or he's, and so they're going to play Dest out there because he didn't even give Robinson 10 extra minutes or 10 minutes last game against the Swiss, which leads me to believe he's more hurt than we may know, or he might still have a slight something going on there. So that's why I went with Dest on the left and Cannon on the right. Although, frankly, after the way Cannon played in the Swiss game, I'd rather see Yedlin.
Nope, I'm with you on that. I did go ahead and put Dest and Robinson because, as far as the information I've heard from, and not saying this is from anybody within USSF by any means,
right?
But maybe the people I've heard this from have contacts within. I don't know. But Robinson was healthy enough to play and didn't. I'm looking at that more along the lines of Berhalter giving him a break and letting Yedlin and Cannon get a chance to prove themselves. And then now we're in a meaningful game. I went ahead and put Destin Robinson, and that's assuming that Robinson's healthy. So.
Okay, so we got a difference there on the backs. We'll see.
You went 100% Berhalter. I went 75, maybe 60, maybe 60.
Yeah, I'm trying to project what I thought would conservative Berhalter would do.
I'm a hybrid.
Yeah, although like I said, Yedlin played way better in 10 minutes than Cannon did in 80. So there's that, and I just think he'll only bring Yedlin in if Cannon is having another horrible game.
Well, that's also a rough comparison. And in fairness to Cannon, in that comparison between Cannon and Yedlin did come in the final 10 minutes. Swiss have been playing 80 minutes prior to that. He's fresh legs. Of course, he's going to be a little sharper, a little bit better at that point, and he's going to look better. Now, mind you, Cannon didn't do anything between minute 1 and 80 that made me think otherwise. But I'm always hesitant in saying that this person played better than him in 10 minutes because, well, everybody was tired,
I get it, but sure. I'm talking not only just the play, but the way that Yedlin held himself.
Sure.
He looked confident. He went after it. Cannon, for 80 minutes, looked timid and kind of scared and unsure of himself and not always sure where to be. So
it could be a tale of two different stories there in the sense that Yedlin's looking at this like, hey, I got 10 minutes. This is my first game in like 2 years for the national team. And Cannon's looking at it like, I don't want to make a mistake.
I don't want to lose my spot.
Yeah. That could be either one of those. Yeah. So that's possible.
What I think is Yedlin, since going to Galatasaray, I think he's recovered all his confidence that he has lost.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking. So then we move to center backs, and I've got, of course, John Brooks, and I've got Mark McKenzie. Who do you got?
I've got Brooks and Miazga.
Really?
Yeah.
Miazga didn't even get like 5 minutes in the last game. Didn't that smell fishy to you?
No.
Because that is the two slowest center backs.
I saw McKenzie getting the full game because Berhalter is going to play Miazga. I mean, quite frankly, McKenzie really hasn't been a factor in Berhalter's plans up until recently when Aaron Long got injured.
I get it.
Miazga's been the number 2 this entire time. I don't see it changing.
All right, but if we play better quality competition than Honduras, Brooks Miazga is a horrible lineup to go with. They are both incredibly slow going backwards. They're horribly slow going backwards. At least McKenzie is faster than both of those guys and can cover a bit. That's why I went with McKenzie. I thought McKenzie put in the best stretch from the C-backs.
That's a harsh 90 minutes to compare that to. I mean, Brooks had arguably one of his worst games in a couple of years here, and then Ream was Ream.
Ream was slow and bad.
Ream was Ream.
No. So that leaves you 3 choices: Brooks, Miazga, or McKenzie.
Sure.
Really.
And that's why you went with McKenzie, I went with Miazga.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got to keep tabs on these. All right. So we remember what really happened compared to what we said. We'll remember that.
Your history of predicting what Berhalter picks is phenomenal. And I'm wishy-washy, hoping for the stars. Not necessarily like the best stars, but my hope is like, I think it's going to be this, and then Berhalter's like, nah, man, it's not going to be. But you seem to be pretty fucking on par with him as far as predicting what he thinks.
Yeah, so far he's been pretty predictable in a lot of ways. Which brings us to the midfield where, okay, I hate to say this, but this is what I think Berhalter's going to do. I think he's going to start Weston McKennie and Sebastian Lletget, and then behind them will be Jackson Ewell. Because
you confused me there when you said McKennie first. I would have assumed that you would have started with 6 first.
Well, it's a triangle, and so I'm going with the 2 in the triangle in the midfield being Weston McKennie on the left and Sebastian Lletget on the right, or flip-flop them. It doesn't matter to me. But instead of starting Adams, I think he's going to start Ewell because, once again, I think Adams, his injury, it's a back injury, and I think he might get the last 20 minutes or something. But I think Berhalter, for safety's sake, again, this is like the Robinson situation, is going to start Ewell. And a lot of people are going to be unhappy.
I'm looking at – I have the same 3, by the way. I don't think Adams starts primarily because Berhalter had a comment, like it was either just before the Swiss game or maybe it was just after, that they explained what Adams' injury was.
Yes, he did.
And then he recovered from something, but he's still dealing with something. And that made me think that he's not fully recovered. He's recovering, but he's not fully recovered. And I don't think he's going to be ready 100% for the Honduras game. And in that case,
now,
I don't see him pushing it.
Because of that injury, Adams has literally not played a game of soccer for a month. So that's a long time to be off from an injury. Mm-hmm. I don't think he played the last 2 or 3 Leipzig games. So, I mean, I don't know if you just throw a guy in who's not
Mexico. He'll be good for Mexico.
Well, that's why I said I think if he's healthy enough, he'll get the last 10 or 15, 20. And then that'll be a barometer for Greg to decide whether or not to go with him as a starter in the next game. And, he'll talk to Adams and the physicians, and everybody will – figure out, all right, how'd you feel in that 10, 15 minutes? So
do you think he's going to hold off on a sub until the last few minutes for that as a possibility? I guess it all depends on how the game's going. Hell, if we're up 3-0, then it might be earlier or at all,
If it's 3-0 at halftime, then you give, Adams that 20 minutes. You can bring in Musa for 30 minutes, maybe at the 60th for Lletget. Unless Lletget just keeps scoring, but then you give McKennie a blow and give him a break. Don't. I know we made a pact.
We're gonna get hammered for this in the comments section.
I know. Okay, we made a pact a while back I made a pact to you that I would stop using the term "give him a blow" because it doesn't sound right. So I'll try to get back to that.
I laugh for all the people who don't want to be immature enough to laugh at that.
Yeah, good for you if you can laugh at that. If you can't laugh at that, then you need to smoke more weed. All right.
It would also, like I said, it would also be interesting if Lletget's continually doing well and Adams is not necessarily ready. I would still like to see a possibility, and we mentioned this in the recap of the Swiss game. But to see Musa come in for Ewell at some point, not saying that he needs to play a 6, but maybe like push him and McKennie can rotate around with Lletget kind of anchoring as an attacking mid at that point. I don't know.
I haven't heard one iota of hint from Greg.
Sure.
He even considers Musa as a 6.
Sure.
But
I'm really just looking at opportunities of getting Musa in there right now.
He turned Acosta into a 6, sort of.
I think he used Acosta as a fill-in 6 because I think with Ewell at the Olympics and Adams injured, there was really no options for him in the previous camp.
McKennie.
I see if you push McKennie back to a 6, which he can certainly play a 6. He's played a number of times throughout his career, and he did well with Juve when he did play those few games at that point. Yep. But you're taking away his presence in the box of crashing and getting in those open opportunities. that you have when he can just roam the midfield. And I'm not saying
Sometimes
that's
you have to make those
I agree.
compromises. Though.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, but
And
I'm playing. I guess I'm playing devil's advocate here.
yeah, but then you can move Musa up and then have Leggett play McKennie's role, and going box to box, which he's good at. He keeps scoring, so I don't know. Interesting. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Again,
either way, I think our three midfielders are accurate. I think that's what's going to happen. Yule, Leggett, and McKennie.
I mean, if Musa starts over Leggett, my jaw will hit the floor. It really will.
Given how well Leggett's playing, I'd be surprised too, but I wouldn't be upset.
I wouldn't be upset at all. I mean, I like Leggett. He's one of the MLS players on top of Long, who I think are kind of part of this team, and I'm okay with them being there. Mm-hmm. I'm okay with Yule as a backup for Adams too at this point because he's all we got. But yeah, let's see, strikers or forwards, not strikers, forwards. I have Berhalter going with Pulisic on the left, Rain on the right, and Sargent in the middle. That one seems
that's
pretty
crazy talk. Yeah, then Berhalter came out and said, like, oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure Pulisic's going to be ready for the Honduras game. I'm like, well, of course he's going to be ready.
What the fuck would he? Why wouldn't he be ready?
He had like 20 minutes during the Champions League game, which was a day before the Swiss game. So he's had more time to recover than most of the starting 11 who played 70 to 90 minutes.
I know that there are lots of big celebrations after the Champions League, but that would be one hell of a hangover if Pulisic's not ready for this game.
Or he celebrated properly if that's the case.
He is old enough to drink now, right? He's 20.
Old enough to drink in England, sure.
What's the age in England?
18, yeah. I think you're allowed to go into a bar and you're allowed to get a drink with food at the age of 16 or up, but I think you're legally allowed to order bevs at 18.
Germany has the best law. No law. All right. So that one was easy. Now I have Brendan Aronson coming in for either of those two if they get, start to get tired. And you can also bring in Jordan for Sargent if the game's like a 3-0 blowout, but with 30 minutes left.
PFOC?
Yes, PFOC. Now I think maybe he just had a bad game because his first game he played, he was pretty good. Siabatu, but
he had with the Swiss game, he had very limited service.
I know.
So that's a rough game to gauge him on. He played well in the game that he had a full half, right? In the previous camp? I
think so, yeah.
I'll go based off of that and given his club for him and just say, dude, that Swiss game, that last 20, 30 minutes produced arguably nothing.
Yeah.
He had no chances.
And as far as the U.S. playing style for this, it's not going to be any different than Switzerland. Don't expect many lufted or hoofed balls. Okay. But the big question is, what can we expect out of Honduras? And just to give people some background, Honduras has only played 2 games this year. And they played against Belarus, and they tied 1-1 at Belarus, and they played a 4-3-3 attacking style there. Then they played against Greece, and they played a 4-3-3 hold and counter, and they also lost that. They lost to Greece 2-1. They tied Belarus 1-1. Yeah. Well, needless to say, Belarus is not a very good team. They should have beaten Belarus.
What?
They're horrible. They're a horrible team. And Greece, this isn't like the golden generation of Greece going on right now. But they got beat pretty handily in that game too. So the question is, what do we expect? Expect the 4-3-3 hold and counter. It's not going to be super easy, folks. They're going to park the bus. They're going to play a low block. So we should have our counter. Yeah, I think our midfielders will have plenty of time to look around and make a pass. And
given how the counter worked against us against Switzerland, I wouldn't be surprised if Honduras played that style.
Yeah,
park those strikers up top and just wait and just play it.
Well, kind of deeper into the second half, Switzerland did have a higher line. They started to push the block up. And then they even did some light pressing too, which scrambled us a number of times when we were trying to play out of the back. So I would expect some of that from Honduras. But once we get it out of the back and, it looks like we're going to cross the middle line, they're going to get back to that low block as fast as they possibly can. And they're going to cram up the box. Yeah, it's going to be one of those games.
I suspect Honduras will get on their backs and show us their bellies. Just let in 2 or 3 goals in the first 5 minutes. Just let it happen. Just accept your fate.
Yeah. Now you
probably
said
not.
Yeah. So you said somebody else had a call on this game in pre-show. You mentioned somebody else.
No. I said MLS posted their starting 11 for the United States.
Oh,
but they were pretty much. I mean, did you write that tweet for United States? Because they went with your exact starting lineup.
I did not read it.
I mean, I would start second guessing your lineup if MLS is guessing what you guessed.
Yeah, I guess it depends on who on MLS picked it. Because if Doyle picked it, I'm believing it. But if some of those other characters did, maybe not. But I think that realistically, if they have the exact same lineup I have, then that sounds pretty reasonable to me. If they're doing what we're doing, which is guessing what what I'm doing is guessing what Berhalter's going to do. So, do we have a score prediction on this?
I will. I'll go 3-1.
3-1.
Why not?
Honduras.
Yeah. 3-1 Honduras.
Okay.
Oddly enough, all 3 Honduran goals are own goals by John Brooks.
Oh, let's hope that doesn't happen. Oh, that'd be awful. That would be awful. It'd be almost Gonzo-esque. All right, I'm going to go 3-0 USA. So Brett's got 3-1. I got 3-0.
I'm expecting a fluke of a goal to occur somewhere.
Maybe
they catch us early. I don't know.
There's no Jerry Bankston on this Honduras team, which is so weird. I'm so used to him being. So they're relying like Albert Elise and Johnny Toro and Jorge Benguche to do all the scoring.
The Trinidad and Tobago team were a bunch of high school kids. What's your point?
Well, I get it, but this is not the same U.S. men's national team. I concur,
yes. I agree with you on that. I'm just saying.
Where are they going to get the goals from? Albert Elise? I mean, good luck with that.
I already said John Brooks is going to score it.
Nah.
No, I don't think John's going to do it. Look, God, if that comes true, I'm going to hear a ton of shit.
You are. So probably not make like horrible Nostradamus type predictions like that. Because if they come true, then you're going to get the blame.
I am 3 drinks in already, so it's one of those things. You're better when you're drunk. So,
oh great!
I'm predicting 3-1, not three own goals, but only one.
Okay, one fluke goal for Honduras.
Whoopsies, whoopsie daisies.
It could happen. We always tend to make one blunder, but I'm sticking with 3-0, and we will have another show. I'm hoping the day after.
Do you want to try to predict man of the match already? Who do you think's gonna step up?
I think the man of the match is going to be Christian Pulisic, and I know that's pretty boring, but
that's softball and t-ball, and I agree though.
Yeah,
he's definitely eager, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think so. So we'll have a follow-up show, probably up late Thursday night, would be my guess. So if you want to tune back in then, we'll be back. Until then, make sure you like this video if you found it helpful, or even if you didn't. I don't care. And also hit subscribe. This is the first time in 46 shows, Brett, that I've gotten that right.
Well played.
Maybe that's a good sign for Thursday.
Like I said,
all right.
Definitely. And also on top of that, since you did forget this, don't forget to leave a comment. We do enjoy responding to everybody as much as we can.
Yeah, even if you're a whiny bitch, we'll reply. That probably didn't come out right. All right. Until the next time on the Straight Red Card, go drink yourself a few beers and have a nap.